Hello, this is Joanne Eisen with Rishi Unlimited. And when I was out walking, I wanted to do this video instead of doing a live so I could get through everything I really wanted to say. But when I was out walking today, I was thinking about time and how we use time and our mind. And one of the scriptures that came to me, and yes, I have a religious background and I do know the Bible, but one of the scriptures that came to me that always struck me was, "Don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will take care of itself." And that scripture hit me today because, for one, we're in really crazy times and we could be worrying about, what's going to happen tomorrow or how things are going to turn out. But one of the other facets of that really hit me this morning is yesterday I had an all day class and we did a lot of practice sessions. And several times in the practice sessions, the person that was reading for me would say, take one step at a time, take one step at a time. And they did it in a little bit of a different way, but the message always came through to take one step at a time. And I was like, yeah, I need to take one step at a time. I need to just, get through today and do what I need to do and take care of tomorrow and do what I need to do. And as you keep doing that, you start unfolding your life, which is true. You really do that. And sometimes we get impatient. I know I get very impatient about, I want tomorrow to be here today. And I'm always looking forward, which I think is a good thing. I'm always forward thinking. I'm thinking about the possibilities, the things that could be, the what ifs. All of those things have always been a part of my being. I think I learned that from my mom. My mom tends to be one that looks ahead, what's going to happen after, or what is this going to do to that, or how is a chain reaction going to be, um, you know, affected by something that you do. It's just been a part of my personality. I also raised my kids that way. You think about what you're doing now and how that's going to affect your future, and what choices you make now is going to affect your future. It's always been a part of who I am. But the one thing that I learned from my mom as well is to have a very fast mind. And I'm always doing something. I'm multitasking in many different directions, and which I didn't really pay attention to. I mean, I know that's a problem for me, to not concentrate on something, to always be thinking about what's coming next, or well, I'm doing something thinking about what I'm going to do next or how I'm going to do something next. And last week while I was walking, a blue jay came across my path, like literally right in front of my face. And I was like, oh, wow, a blue jay. I'm going to have to look that up and see what that means. And, why did a blue jay cross my path like that right when it did? And it took me like 3 or 4 days to stop and look that up. And I thought, why am I looking this up? Because I really do know what a blue jay means. But I didn't trust my gut in doing that. I needed to be told what to do. I needed to be told what it meant. I mean, I needed to be like, made aware from another source of what this blue jay could mean in my life. And this morning when I was walking, it all came together in how we think as people, I think often. Again, going back to how we as people, we tend to be thinking ahead, which we should. We always have to be prepared, or knowing, in reasonable fashion, what's going to come next or what we have to prepare for, or things like that. But one of the things I learned in the class yesterday, I was doing a class with Charlie Kelly, who's an amazing medium. And it was interesting because he talked about um, being authentic to yourself, and um, standing within your own power and your own truth, and and not well, it's kind of convoluted in the conversation, but what struck me was, one of the things he said is to train his mind, he would concentrate on one thing at a time. And I thought, well, that's really interesting. Okay. And so I was walking this morning, and oh my gosh, when I do my walking, I'm like all over the place. My mind is worrying about or thinking about, who's my next guest on my show, or who do I want to book for my show? What classes do I have scheduled? What work do I have to do? I'm creating classes in my head and I never get it down on a video format. There's so many things that go through my head, and I come home, I get ready for the day like I was going to do today. And I get lost into my work. I get lost into what is pulling me in. So I'm not in control of my day. My day is in control of me. And I'm not scheduling my day in a way that would be more, I think, balanced within my life. So I was thinking about one step at a time as I was walking. And I remember what Charlie Kelly said about being mindful about literally concentrating on one step at a time. And so I would think just 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, right, left, just my steps. And when I did that, I couldn't believe how many other things would come into my mind and try to come into my mind. And I realized how much I don't pay attention to all the things that I allow to creep in that keep me from being my authentic self or keep me from doing the things that I really want to do, because there's so many pools in our day. There's so many things that could take us off our track or distract us from the things that we want to do. And it's so subtle and so easy if we're not careful about these things that can distract us or take us off of our path. And also how we're not really paying attention to what is the task that we're in and are we enjoying it. Like the Blue Jay to me was about enjoying every day one moment at a time. It was about enjoying the blue skies, enjoying the flowers, enjoying the sun, enjoying the clouds in the sky. Yesterday when I was doing my readings, I was just like gazing into the clouds and enjoying the foundations and the structures and the forms and the shapes of the clouds. And while I was doing that, there were a couple times where I was having more of a serious reading where a heart would appear, and I would express that to the person I was reading for about this heart that appeared from their loved one, or a sign of something that was very pertinent to who I was reading for would come through in the clouds. And if I was like so focused into what I was doing and not really just appreciating the beauty of nature, I would have missed those things, which was amazing. And that's what hit me this morning about, as we take one step at a time and we're paying attention one step at a time, living in the now is what that is. It's living in the now. It's not living in the future and it's not living in the past. It's living in the now. And it's hard for me to do that because the past is already behind me. To me, I don't like going backwards. I hate going backwards. I have to go forward. I have to move forward. Anybody who knows me knows I hate to go backwards. I hate to repeat, although we repeat things in life all the time. But to enjoy the now is so important, or we miss things. And what I realized when I took my walk this morning, how much of nature did I really take in? Of course, when I would pass birds that were playing in the grass and eating their seeds, I would talk with them and enjoy passing them. When I pass squirrels, I have a little conversation with them. But overall, I didn't pay attention to the environment around me. I didn't take it in and enjoy it. I didn't take it in and see what I could learn from it because I was too busy trying to plan for what do I have the next moment? When I get back home, what do I have next to do after I get ready for my day? How is my day going to unfold? What are my priorities? I miss the entire beauty of being out in nature and the rejuvenation that brings us to be out in nature. And for everybody who's going through this pandemic and feeling how I felt, for a long time, I wasn't out in nature. I wasn't out walking because not that I couldn't, it was that I think I let creep into my life because I'm home and I work from home. I allowed to creep into my life all of the pulls and the tugs and the things that I had to do, that I kept on pushing forward and not getting the joy and the peace and the calmness in my life and being out in nature, which I absolutely love. So for my message to you today is to think about every moment, what you're doing in that moment as best as you can. Think about taking each and every step, because that was the message yesterday. It wasn't about taking one step at a time in the progression of my life. It was about literally paying attention and taking one step at a time and paying attention to what each and every one of those steep steps mean and how you are using it or how it's affecting you or what you're learning from it or what's going on around you, how you're being rejuvenated, how you're being fulfilled, how you're not. Is this working? Is this not working? These are the things that are important to pay attention to as you take each step, because you're going to miss the things that are really important. And I think that's what the message for me yesterday was, because those are the times where you can really see what's working and what's not working. Am I off target? Am I on target? Is there something I need to adjust or not? Or purely just rejuvenating your soul, purely just getting to know who you are, or paying attention to the signs and the symbols that are around you. Like, what if I wasn't paying attention and I was just like, oh, a blue jay just went across my face. Oh, well, okay. And you move on, and you can do that. But that blue jay, I have not seen a blue jay in my area for a long time. And so for that blue jay to come across my path was significant to me because I don't see them often. And we do have a lot of birds around here and I love watching them, but I specifically haven't seen a beautiful blue jay like that. So my message is to try to take each moment of each day and pay attention to it the best you can. But we in our society, when we have the internet, when we have TV, when we have gaming, when we have all these Zoom classes and Zoom calls, which I absolutely love, and I'm taking them all in and being a part of it as well. Remember that you don't have to be overwhelmed by that. Remember that you get to choose what it is that you spend your time doing. You have a choice and you have the right to say, no, I'm backing out of something today because I need to take care of myself. I need to get my butt out the door and enjoy nature and take in the fresh air and take in the sunshine and make sure that your body and your life is just as important to take care of in that way as it is in any other way. Take that time to really get to know yourself. When you're doing something like that, which is really hard for me to do, and sometimes I go in and out of it, be present to what it is that you're doing. Tomorrow will take care of itself. You're not going to have a problem that you can't handle tomorrow. And I don't mean that that's putting off the things that are important. But if you're worrying about the things that you can't take care of, or you can't change, or you can't have any kind of direction or control over, those are the things that you don't worry about because they will take care of themselves. But you have to be mindful of the things that you need to do today, right now, and not go into the future too far in advance. I know that's a big one for me because I love to go into the future way in advance. I like to have, I think, stability and knowing of what's going to happen. I like surprises, but I find out now I don't like them as much as I used to. I need to be in control of things, and we can't be in control of our life. There's a lot of things that we just cannot control, but we have to be able to go through life in peace and remember to enjoy our life, because as you all know, I'm going to go through the whole lecture again. Life is our lesson. Everything that happens in our life is for us to learn from, whether it's a positive or a negative. We are absolutely learning from that. And how we learn from that, or how we take it in, that's the thing that's important. And that's the thing that will really mold and shape us. And that's what we're doing here. It's evolving as a soul. And we're molding and shaping our experience to what our soul wants to experience here. And if we can learn that and know that it's all going to be okay, it's all going to work out in the end. It's all going to be okay if we just take one step at a time and pay attention to each and every step you take. Be mindful of each and every step. It's not easy to do, and we're not going to do it all the time. But the more that we're aware, we bring that awareness to each step, to each action, to each thought. Where are your thoughts going? Where are you allowing your thoughts to go? Those are the things that you need to be mindful of. I'm a terrible one at allowing my thoughts to go into areas that I can't even control. I'm like creating stories and paths and directions and ideas that I can't even do. And I don't mean like you're creating the goodness. We can manifest and create things that we want. I mean like things that we cannot control. And that's the thing that we have to pull back in and remember. If it's literally you saying, left, right, left, right, left, right. That's what's important. And I thank Charlie for that tidbit that he gave almost as a flippant thing, but it really struck me as something that was really important, because so often we don't pay attention to each and every step and we miss so many things along the way. And that's the important thing for us to remember, is that we don't have to, that we can control our mind, but we don't control our mind because we're so used to going on autopilot. And that's the thing that we have to come off of. And it's so hard to do that. And a reminder that we always have to be aware of is don't be on autopilot. When I'm reading or doing something, I can tend to be doing 5 things at the same time. And, serve many masters is another scripture, and you're a master of none. When you're doing 20 million things at one time, are you a master of any of that? No, you're not. Are you really gaining the knowledge or the information, or really putting your all into what you're doing when you're doing that? And I know I'm not alone in this. A lot of us, especially in our time, we're so bombarded with TV, with internet, with radio, with Zoom now, with people that want our attention. There's emails, text messaging, Messenger, Twitter, Pinterest. You get my point? You could be bombarded if you're not careful. So all I'm saying is to be mindful of each and every step, be mindful of each and everything you do. Try to be as aware and connected to the whole of what you're doing, instead of off doing other things, instead of your mind trying to do something and then be off into another area of thinking. It's really a difficult thing. When I was walking and going left, right, 1, 2, 1, 2, left, right, it was like, pull the mind back, pull the mind back. Try doing something like that, where you're doing something repetitively, and see how often your mind starts veering off into something else. I think you'll be surprised, because the more that we can control our mind, then the better we're going to be in control of our lives. So I hope that will help. That's my tidbit of the day. You're seeing me as halfway dressed for the day, but I didn't do my hair. But I wanted to share that because I didn't want the day to get away without me posting this. And I do hope that this will help. I think, especially as we go through the next couple weeks and the next month, don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will take care of itself. It's all going to work out okay in the end. We just have to have the trust that it will, but we also have to be working within our own lives and making sure that we're taking care of those parts of us, our life, and what's going to make our life better, and how are we going to be more in control of our lives, and what are our dreams and our hopes, and are we really stepping into it? Are we allowing these pulls and these draws from the world that's taking us away from the path? And I know I'm a big culprit in that. I've got so many things that I have to do, and I'm doing all of them and none of them as well as I probably can do. So if I can take one at a time and focus on that, and not be pulled to or be distracted from doing something else, then it's going to be a lot easier of a life. And we actually accomplish more when we do that. Because when we're doing too many things at one time, we're not putting our all into it. It slows us down, and we're not doing it to the perfection that we actually can do it. Give yourself permission to be kind to yourself as well, and loving to yourself, and just be mindful of each and everything you do. I think we'll all be very surprised how much our mind does distract us, or deter us, or just take us off focus of what it is that we want to do. All right, everybody. Tomorrow is a big day, so everybody hunker down and be strong. And we're all going to get through this. It's all going to be okay. Tomorrow will take care of itself. All right, everybody, take care. Bye.